I want you guys to sit down and I want you to strap down and listen to a rant, a much overdue rant, and this is what I needed to hear. So, the word around the campfire, as Mr. Doc would say, is that Joshua and Wilder, two of the most overrated heavyweights of all time, won't be fighting each other in the Middle East. Instead, they're going to be fighting fucking tune-ups. Rant time. So, this is ridiculous. Don't care about it. The only interesting thing on that card to me is that Dimitri Bivol is finally coming back. Don't give a fuck about Wilder or Joshua. They both take it up the fucking ass. Don't care about their fan bases. Both of their fan bases take it up the ass. So I'm going to rewind the clock a little bit, and we're just going to go scorched earth on both their fucking careers because I'm sick of these two fuck boys, all right? Deontay Wilder is one of the biggest scam artists, probably. He's one of the biggest hype jobs in heavyweight history, bro. He beat one top 10 opponent in 45 fights or whatever it was, and that was Luis Ortiz, who was himself 47 years old. Before and after that, Deontay Wilder did absolutely nothing. Now, again, I tell you this all the time. Wilder is a danger for everybody just because of the power he possesses. He can knock anybody out on any given Saturday. But the dude's fucking overrated, bro. He's not the hardest hitter in boxing history. He's none of those things, okay? Never was. And those fights with Tyson Fury proved that. You know, they proved, and given, I picked Wilder to beat Fury in the first fight. I was like, dude, this guy's not going to come off the couch after 3 years of snorting cocaine and beat up Wilder. It just ain't going to happen, son. And I was wrong. He did beat him. He got robbed. They gave him a draw, but then he beat the fuck out of him 2 more times, all right? Since that, Deontay Wilder has fought 1 round in 2.5 years. Against Hellenius. And you're telling me this guy deserves some type of a fucking title shot? No. He should have to beat somebody in the top 10. And by beating somebody in the top 10, I don't mean an old fucking Joseph Parker whose best days are behind him and his head's not really in the game anymore. Because I think Parker was a top 10 heavyweight at one point in time, but not anymore. Okay? Wilder's a fucking idiot. He should be fighting Zhang. And Zhang would destroy Deontay Wilder easily. But Wilder doesn't have the balls to leave the United States, just about like the other guy I'm about to get into. If AJ and that brings me to Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder are not fighting each other, they should be fighting Zhang. As far as I'm concerned, he's the number 3 heavyweight in the world right now. If you wanted to put AJ past him just because AJ was a 2-time champion, he's got a better resume, fine. Because Zhang does have a better resume than Deontay Wilder, believe it or not. But anyways, if you wanted to put AJ 3 and Zhang 4, I could live with that considering AJ is 2 times unified champion. Now, I'm going to rewind the clock a little bit here. Again, Joshua. Joshua's a good fighter. I'm not saying he isn't. He always has been a good fighter. Again, I think his best days are behind him, but he's still a very good fighter. His fan base is also full of shit. They're also fucking cowards. And this is what I say about, now, if you go back 4, 5, 6 years, right? Here was the thing. This was right when Usyk was getting ready to move up to heavyweight after he won the World Boxing Super Series at cruiserweight. So Usyk wasn't really seen as he was seen as a threat, but he wasn't the top guy yet, right? Not until that first AJ fight, which I'm going to get into. AJ had a nice little run there. I've never rated Dillian White, but some people do. He beat Dillian White, and I think Dillian White's a fucking tomato can, but to each his own. I think he's a fucking shit-talking little idiot with no chin. Okay? So I never really rated that win for Anthony Joshua. Parker, Joseph Parker. Like I say, when AJ fought him 5 years ago, that was a fight that could have won either way. If you remember and go back and watch it. AJ had a hard time with Joseph Parker in that fight. I didn't have a problem with AJ getting the decision in that fight per se. I thought a draw would have been acceptable or 7-5 either way. What I did have a problem with was the ref not allowing Joseph Parker to fight on the inside and the scorecards. All the scorecards were 118, 110 AJ, 117, 111 AJ when it was a very close fight. So that was another questionable win. And like I said, I don't rate Dillian Whyte. Let's move forward. He fights Povetkin. Now, Povetkin, I do rate, or did rate, when he was in his prime. Povetkin was a good fighter. I will give AJ the benefit of the doubt. Povetkin did go on to beat Dillian Whyte after the fact, but Povetkin was 40. Good win for AJ, but he was 40. Same thing with Vladimir Klitschko. So this is what I'm saying. And you can dissect anybody's resume like this, but with AJ, it's a little different, right? Now, he gets the shit kicked out of him by Andy Ruiz. Now, Andy Ruiz, I was a fan of that guy at one point, but he just doesn't care about boxing. He's undisciplined. He could fucking care less. He's inactive. He's just fucking partying and doing whatever he's doing. So, now, props to Joshua. He got the shit kicked out of him by Ruiz, but then he beat Ruiz in a rematch where Ruiz didn't even fucking train, and he looked like a fucking Mexican ball of marshmallows in that fight, all right? Then Usyk whipped his ass twice. Now, Anthony Joshua this year fought Jermaine fucking Franklin and Robert Helenius. That's 2 tune-ups in a row. So now he needs a third tune-up against Otto Wallin. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now, because Otto Wallin is not a big puncher, not at least not at heavyweight. He's got respectable power, but he's not a big puncher, right? The best way, the only way that Otto Wallin is beating AJ is if he dominates him so badly, like Usyk did in the first fight, where it's like 10 rounds to 2, 9 rounds to 3. Okay? That's the only, and I don't see Otto Wallin being that dominant against AJ. I think he could outbox him, but he's going to get fucked on the scorecard. So, especially with the big Deontay Wilder fight hanging in the balance. I have no interest in that fight because I already know it's a setup. They're never going to give Wallin a fair shake. And I also have no interest in Wilder being inactive fighting Joseph Parker, whose best days are behind him. Hopefully Wallin and Parker come to win because I'm so sick of both of these fucking cocksuckers. It's ridiculous, bro. Like I said, if they're not, they've both had tune-ups, bro. AJ's had 2 tune-ups in a fucking row. Wilder hasn't fought in 2 fucking years, and his last fight was a tune-up. They don't need fucking tune-ups, bro. If you're going to be fighting less than once a year, then you need to be fighting somebody of substance. Like I always say. They should be fighting each other. And if they're not going to be fighting each other, they should both grow a pair of fucking balls and fight Zhilei Zhang. As far as I'm concerned, he's the 3rd best heavyweight in the world right now. But these dudes they're not warriors, bro. They're not, like I say, just because you box a little bit, bro, doesn't mean you really got the mentality of a killer, bro. You don't. Neither one of them boys do. They never did, bro. And I've been saying this shit for so long. Because right when Usyk was getting moved to move up to heavyweight, this is what kills me. And people like to forget about this as well, right? The AJ fans, right? The non-biased boxing channels. We all know who they are. I don't need to repeat the names. I'm not going to call nobody out. The non-biased boxing channels. If you go back and watch, they were all sucking AJ's fucking racist fucking dick back then, okay? And I'm going to tell you why all the non-biased boxing channels were sucking AJ's dick back then. Number one, they couldn't root for Deontay Wilder because the LDBC was rooting for Deontay Wilder, and they had to keep the facade up of them being not biased. They also couldn't root for Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk because they're white. So Anthony Joshua was a good, nice middle road for them guys, some of these channels out there, to pretend that they were neutral and not biased and call themselves not biased. If you have to constantly reiterate to everybody that you're not biased, then you're probably fucking biased, okay? And everybody has their biases, but you fuckers more than anybody. But that was the thing. They couldn't root for Wilder because the LDBC was rooting for Wilder. And they couldn't root for Fury or Usyk because he's white, so they couldn't root for him either. Oh, Anthony Joshua is our boy. We're going to root for him. We're not biased at all. That's what these fucking channels like to do back then, all right, 4 or 5 years ago. Now that Wilder and Anthony Joshua have both gotten the shit kicked out of them by a pair of white boys that are going to be fighting for Undisputed in the coming months, they don't know what to do. And this fight doesn't have the appeal that it once did for me. I mean, they should have fought, these two fucking Mamalukes should have fought 6 fucking years ago, bro. All right? And again, if you're going to put them on the same card, they should be fighting fucking each other. Not Otto Wallin, not Joseph Parker. Again, I don't give a fuck about Joshua or Wilder unless they're fighting for a title, they're fighting each other, or they're fighting Zilly Zhang. That is it. You shouldn't give a fuck either. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. The Otto Wallin-Anthony Joshua fight is an interesting fight. It is. It's a good stylistic matchup. But Wallin doesn't have a lot of power, and he's never going to get a decision against Joshua with the Wilder fight hanging on a fucking string, bro. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Fuck these two dudes. Fuck both of their fan bases. They both take it up the fucking... Fuck Anthony Joshua and fucking Deontay Wilder. Like I say, Wilder's an idiot, but he's not a complete scumbag. He's a little bit of a scumbag, but he's not a complete scumbag like a Broner or a Tank or a Floyd. He's a little bit, but the thing that really takes it home with Wilder is his fucking fans, right? Those piece of shit black radical motherfuckers that think if you're not black, you're an evil person. Okay, they're full of shit too, just like and so are the Anthony Joshua fans. They're also full of shit. Like I just got done explaining to you, all the non-biased boxing channels wanted to fucking on his fucking ball sack because they couldn't root for Fury or Usyk because they're white, and they couldn't root for Wilder because the LDBC roots for him. Oh, so we'll root for AJ. He's black, and we'll call ourselves non-biased boxing champ. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like I say, bro, I know this is the problem with me, bro. You know, I know too much. I'm a pioneer in this YTBC. I know too fucking much about too many people, and I know exactly what you dudes were talking about when you started, and I know exactly what you dudes are talking about now. Most of you are full of shit, okay? Now, fuck the two of them. If they ain't fighting Zhang or each other, you shouldn't care. I don't care, and you shouldn't care, my friends. It's that fucking simple, all right? Now, with that said, I'm going to get in. I got steak cooking in the fucking oven. God bless you all. Hit the like, subscribe. If you feel like donating, you can hit the super thanks or the Cash App will be in the chat. God bless you all, and I will see you Thursday night for the Shakur Stevenson Edwin De Los Santos fight, along with the Navarrete Consecayo fight. Looking forward to that card on Thursday. I will see y'all then. I have a couple more videos I'm going to put out this week. The last couple of weeks have been slow. There hasn't been much boxing to talk about. So that's my 2 cents on this supposed AJ Wilder fucking card that the Middle East is going to be cooking out soon. Like I said, the best part of that card is at least Dimitri Bivol's returning. So hit the like and subscribe, guys. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.